And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the Bitcoin Ben Show, your favorite truck driver, ex-truck driver in the whole wide world. Hang on a second. Ben's going live everywhere. Yes. Thank you, Twigs. Thank you, Twigs. Hey, Ben, hope you're feeling better for your anniversary. We can't have our favorite guys not feeling well. Yeah, last night, my usual 3-hour Wednesday video had to be postponed because I was not feeling well at all. Me and my wife have actually been moving out of our house here in St. Louis and into temporarily our condo here in St. Louis. Then next week we drive to Florida, where we rented a house for a week because we have our final walkthrough on our new house in Florida. Then a week later, we close on our house in Florida. Whew. You never know how much crap you got until you move. It's amazing how much junk we collect over the years. And then you try to move it. Then you realize you have 12 can openers. You have 7 TVs sitting down in the basement. One of them being from 1998 and weighs about 1,000 pounds. It's ridiculous when you move how much you realize you got, and then you don't want it anymore. The business that you want to open right now is junk removal. Junk removal is, they're making a mint. They're making a mint off of people like us. Because, is my wife in here? Let's see, where is she at? She might not be in here. She was having internet issues at our condo. And it's just crazy. But I digress. We got coffee with all my boys on it. We got Bitcoin Ben right there. Snippy, JSnip4. We got Big Swear, and we got Dick Allgaier. That is a picture from the very first Litecoin summit ever. It was back in the day. I don't even remember what year it was. God, was that like 2017? 2000, yeah, like 2017? Is that right? Something like that. I know it was a long time ago, or a while ago at least. Feels like forever, but oh well. Okay, so today's show is explaining how unplugged mainstream financial media is. It is crazy, right? Now, In order to do this, I have to explain what a futures market is. All right. Normal people, average people, the working class person, they think that a futures market is this. Wait. You got the farmer growing corn, and then you got the production of the products made out of corn. And people think that the farmer, if they think that the price of corn is at a good price in the futures market, they sell futures on their corn that they're going to produce. And the production facility thinks, oh, that's a pretty good price for corn. Let me buy some futures. And that it's the farmers and the production facilities working out a natural price for future corn production. That's what the average Joe and Jane think the futures market is. But oh no, my friends, that's not the futures market. You don't just have a farmer, and you don't just have a production facility. You've got another group. Let's put them up here. They're called the investors, the futures investors. Those are the people who actually purchase large amounts of futures and then trade the futures. Now, the futures are technically a derivative of the commodity, which is the corn. The commodity, the corn, is supposed to be deliverable with the futures. So when you own a futures of corn, you're expected to take delivery of that corn at the end of the futures contract. But they instituted futures that resolve in cash and not the commodity. So we have corn futures that actually have nothing to do with the production of corn. They don't purchase any corn. They don't hold any corn. Nothing. They just track the price of corn. See, and then financial institutions use the futures price of corn as the price of corn instead of using the true commodity. They use the futures price. It's exactly what they do with silver. It's exactly what they do with gold. It's exactly what they're trying to do with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. They're trying to create the illusion of a price using the futures. See, they can control the price using the futures. Although technically, according to the SEC and the Securities Exchange Commission, which is the SEC, they should not be able to set the price with a cash resolved futures derivative of a commodity. But they do it. And the SEC and the Chicago Board of Securities Exchange, I think that's what you call it, they handle the futures market. So what we got going on right now listen to this. This is how screwed up this economy is. The futures market hasn't gotten the message from the Federal Reserve that they're trying to squash corn, right? They're trying to lower inflation, while the futures market is trying to raise the price of corn. They're slitting their own throats. It's why yesterday, when we got a high or a lower inflation number, why the futures market went up. Okay. So in reality, the price of corn is not set by the producers of the corn. The price is set by the futures of the corn. And the futures have unlimited derivatives because they are cash resolved. They don't have to have any corn. They could own absolutely zero amount of corn. They just purchase the derivatives. See, Howard, my old friend, right on. Hey, Ben, in the old days, I was invited to be on the floor of the Chicago Mercantile. Wild. Yes. That's back in the old days when you had the runners, and you had the sellers and the buyers all out on the same floor. And you had guys, sell, 195, 195, buy. That's the pictures that we all remember seeing, where you had people waving their sell tickets, waving their buy tickets. And then at the end of the day, you had a certain time that your deal had to resolve. And at the end of the day, it would resolve to a price. And that was the price of corn for the next day's open. But that was in a physical market. The futures, all right, now, this is where it gets really stupid. People can now short futures. They can short corn. They can short futures. So they can lower the price of the commodity with the futures market, which is derivatives and not physical delivery. So the farmer gets screwed because the unlimited amount of derivatives doesn't have the ability to actually find fair market value. Because when you have an unlimited amount of supply, then your price is distorted because there's no bottom. You can drop it down to zero because there's no hodl effect. See, with the Bitcoin, with the physically traded Bitcoin, with the digital blockchain resolved Bitcoin, there's a floor that if there's none available and you want some, you have to offer more money on the buy side of the trade, or you get no Bitcoin. But they've created a futures market for Bitcoin, and they're trying to track the price of the futures and not the physical deliverable blockchain crypto. So the price you see right now for Bitcoin, that's not the accurate price. See, and this is how I know, and this is how everyone else knows. If you go to an over-the-counter and you say, I want 1,000 of them Bitcoin, the exchange, the over-the-counter, will say, not a problem, but it's going to take us a while to get that many. But I want them at this price. We'll get close, but there'll be some slippage. The slippage is the extra that they have to pay to get the deliverable. Now, if you want 1,000 futures of the Bitcoin, well, that's easy. We'll just print you up some futures contracts. Not a problem. We don't need to worry about that whole limitation, that whole supply issue. We'll just print up some futures for you. Yes, derivatives. Derivatives must stop. See, derivatives in the futures market was created by the progressive financial system so they can manipulate the price of the commodity. And see, what's going on right now, though, is the futures market is working in the wrong direction. That's what the Federal Reserve, when the Federal Reserve comes out and says, we need inflation to go down, they're talking to the futures market. They're not talking to the farmer. They're not saying, hey, farmer, you're making too much money, because they're not. They're not making a lot of money. It's the futures that are making the money, because they're raising the price and then dropping the price and then raising the price and then dropping the price. And every time it goes up, they sell. Every time it goes down, they buy, and back and forth. And that's called wash trading. All right. Now, in the physical delivery market, you cannot execute a trade and then execute an opposite trade right away. You have to wait 30 days before you can do that. If you sell a chunk of corn, you have to wait 30 days in order to buy back in. Not on the futures market. No, you can wash trade all day long. See, but that's why the financial class, the money men, the money women, the futures markets, that's why they keep getting richer and richer. That's why the richest people in the world don't produce anything. See, Bloomberg, perfect example. Bloomberg got rich on derivatives, right? George Soros got rich on derivatives. See, they only let a certain groups into derivatives because they want the money going to the progressive financial system. And then the progressive financial system has so much money that they can manipulate the physical markets. So they can drive the price up or they can drive it down. But the Federal Reserve is at war with the futures market now, because the Federal Reserve's like, hey, we got to lower inflation price. But the futures market's like, oh, hell no, we're going to keep this going. And if you watch Bloomberg, that's what they're all saying. They're saying that the financial class is not getting the nudge from the Federal Reserve. the Federal Reserve keeps saying, we got to get inflation under control. But the futures market has so much money that they don't have anywhere else to put it except right back into the stock markets. Because that's what's wrong with the bond market. The bond market is you have a bunch of futures traders taking money out of the market, putting it into short-term bonds that is driving the yield of the bond down, and the bond yields are inverted. So here's what I mean. In the bond market, you have the 1 year, the 3 year, the 5 year, the 10 year, the 20 year, the 30 year. And some even have 50-year bonds. That's when you're getting ridiculous. But the most important one is the 10-year. The 10-year sets the interest rate affects the interest rate of the housing market. Because the average person owns their home for 7 years and then they sell it. Now, the 10-year federal bond pays you less in return than the 2-year does. So the federal government says, here, purchase one of our bonds, and when the bond matures, we'll give you so much more than what you initially paid for it. Well, the bond yield is inverted now, which means the 2-year short-term bond makes you more money than the 10-year does. So they hold your money for 2 years and you make more money in the 2-year than you do the 10-year. Usually it's reverse, where the longer they hold your money, the more they pay. But that's not how it is anymore, because there's so much money in the futures market that the capital is flowing. And you see this. This is like a 1.5 or 2 month cycle we're going through over and over again, where the futures market will throw a bunch of money into the 2-year bond. That will drop the yield. Then they sell the 2-year bond a little while later and put it back into the stock market. And that's why the market, the New York Stock Exchange, went up yesterday. We're at the official number of inflation is 8.5. The Federal Reserve's like, we need to get it down to 2. Well, you're not going to get it down to 2 with so much cash in the futures market. See, the rich people in the futures market are killing the physical economy, because while prices are going up, the production facilities and the farmers are wages, what they get paid to produce the commodity, is not going up. So they're not making more money. They're having to sell their product into a manipulated futures market, which distorts the market and causes shortages, which entail push the price up again. Because the farmers, then they start trying to sell futures that are inflated price so they can pay the bills that are due from the last crop. They're always working behind the curve. Trust me, the farmers ain't getting rich. The corporations, they may be getting rich because they're also the rich people in the futures market. But who ain't getting rich here? The farmer. The farmer ain't getting rich. Exactly. That old movie, Trading Places. Yep. See, the Federal Reserve has to get the money out of the rich people's hands, but they're the ones who put it into the rich people's hands. That's why, surprise, surprise, why do you think that they just issued new tax laws on the wealthy? See, the Federal Reserve doesn't have enough clout, or actually balls, to raise the interest rate high enough to affect the mentality of the wealthy. The wealthy are the people out there buying farmland with cash. $4 million, $5 million, $8 million worth of land at a time. Cash. No loans. See, that's something else the Fed's not telling you. Yeah, they're raising the interest rate, but that only affects the little guy, because the rich guy, he don't need to take out a loan. He'll just pay cash. And if you've got cash, the interest rate's irrelevant to you, because you don't need a loan. You just pay cash. But the little guy, as the Federal Reserve raises the interest rates, the little guy is getting squashed because they have a credit card that they roll over, pay the minimum every month. They don't pay it off at the end of the month. Then they have an auto loan that they got to pay. There's interest rates there. They need a loan for some new equipment. They're not paying cash. They're getting a loan. So the interest rate affects the little guy, not the rich guy. See, the only thing that affects the rich guy, the tax law, the progressive tax law, is for the rich people. That's their Federal Reserve. Because the Federal Reserve can't affect the rich guy enough. Whenever the rich are too rich, the Federal Reserve can't do nothing about them and their money. So they call up Washington, D.C. and go, hey, we need a tax bill. These rich guys got way too much money. That's the system. The Federal Reserve pumps money into the banks. That jacks up the wealth and the ability for the wealthy to get wealthier, because the wealthy are borrowing money from the banks at 0% interest, and then they're buying commodities like land and all this with free money. Well, that money accumulates right back up to the rich. It never leaves the rich people. So the rich people and the poor people are two different economies. See, the poor people, they're worried about the price of hamburger. They're worried about the price of bacon. They're worried about the price of gas. They're worried about the price of cereal. They're worried about the price of college. They're worried about the price of a car. The rich guy or rich gal, they never look at the price of a gallon of gas and go, shit, all I can get's about a half a tank. Not going to be able to fill this bad boy up. See, a rich person ain't never stopped or learned how to stop a gas pump at $15.51, because that's how much you got in your pocket. Rich people, they pull that, they lock it. They let that sumbitch fill up. Damn the price. I want a full tank of gas. While the poor person is watching that go and trying to click, 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 click. till you get exactly the amount of money that you got on you for gas. You're like, I got $12.50 I'm going to put towards gas. See, you know you're poor, or you know you're average, when you got to watch the gas price as you're filling it up. Because you got a budget. You got a budget for your gas. Rich people don't pull up and go, all right, I got a 20. No, they fill that bad boy up. They top it off. See, poor people don't top that sumbitch off. As long as it looks like it says full, it's full. Rich people want to make sure they don't have to pump gas. Damn it, if I could fit more in here, I would. I need a bigger gas tank. Rich people top off. Poor people, they top off in their pocket. I need $3.50 worth of gas. I'm only going to work. Because you might need that money for something else, like a couple groceries. All right. Rich people, my grandfather used to say this, rich people don't count bananas. And I used to say, what the pluck are you talking about, old man? He goes, rich people don't count bananas. Poor people count bananas. They're like, all right, I'll probably have 2 bananas this week. So they break off 2 bananas. Rich people, they'll grab that whole damn thing of bananas and they're off and running. Poor people will break that bananas off and go, I got 2 of them, I'm good. They will allocate the number of bananas. Rich people, they don't count bananas. My grandfather had a very special way of putting things. Now, for those of you counting your cryptos, counting your Bitcoin, it keeps going. Folks, see, this is the little secret that they're not telling you. All that money up in the rich people's world, a shitload of it's going into Bitcoin. But they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that they're buying up all the Bitcoin. But with Bitcoin, you can see the price go up. Even when they manipulate it down as far as they can, and they scare out all the little fish, us hodlers, us who watch the blockchain, see, watch the blockchain volumes and then watch the exchange volumes. Completely different numbers. It's manipulated. But the blockchain blockchain volumes and the exchange volumes. The exchange volumes, when they get close to the blockchain volumes, that's when you buy. Because that is when they got to start buying real Bitcoin. Because they've ran out of the imaginary Bitcoin. And they've got to recapitalize with physical Bitcoin. That's the key. That's why every Friday I buy more Bitcoin. Take it off the exchange, put it in my private wallet, on my crypto laptop, on one of my crypto laptops. Because I know how this ends, folks. See, we're in what is called an inflationary spiral. And eventually, the inflationary spiral finds the most appreciative asset available to it. That's the Bitcoin. That's what the rich people know right now. See, cryptos for retail, in reality, is dead. There's not much of a retail crypto market right now. There's only us, like me, the true crypto people that understand and live off of cryptos. The rest is wealthy people. They're buying cryptos like it's going out of damn style. And silver, yes. Robert Dunn, great question. Hey, Ben, where do we stand today? Blockchain versus exchange volumes. It's bottomed. It's gone up the last, week and a half or 2 weeks. It's bottomed. You should be, if you got cash and you have an account at Caleb and Brown, my link under here, call up Jack or Jake and say, buy me some Bitcoin. Because this is the floor of the Bitcoin right now is about 21,800. That's the floor. Now, I'd say in September, we're going to have a run up. And it's not going to be retail pushing. It's going to be the rich people pushing it. Because as these taxes, these new tax bills that they put in, they're going to be looking for a reserve asset that they can claim on their taxes. That's going to be Bitcoin, folks. Yes. Yes. That's what they mean when they say there's a buy signal. Yes. That's exactly what it is. They're looking at the volumes on the exchanges. They're looking at the volumes on the blockchain. And they're comparing the two. When the volumes reach about equal on the exchanges and the blockchain, that's when they go in big. Because they know that the price is only going to go up from there. And they'll buy in and they'll run it up like they're doing right now. That's where all this money is. Everyone's like, who the hell's buying Bitcoin? Why is it at 24? Why is it 23? Why is it at 24? We got a question. Many a day. That's a good name. Hey, Ben, how much Bitcoin would you say is necessary to have to be comfortable in the future? At least one. If you want to be wealthy in the future, get one. You want to be well off, get at least a quarter of a Bitcoin. If you got 2 Bitcoin, you're in if you got 2 Bitcoin right now, I want to say you're in the top 20%, because 80% of the Bitcoin wallets have less than 1 Bitcoin in it. See how that do? Pretty crazy, folks. That's why I tell everybody, try to get at least 1 Bitcoin, and then you can focus on a few altcoins, like Litecoin, Ethereum if you want that, but like the DIVI project. Dude, anybody not buying DIVI right now, getting at least, or if you're not running a DIVI master node or trying to get one put together, I'm not quite sure what you're doing. Because while the market's down, that's when you set yourself up. Remember when the price of DIVI was hitting like 15 cents, 18 cents? Right now, I think it's hovering around 2 cents. If you want to be one of those super excited, happy people when the price is high, you gotta be one of the smart people that buy it low. Or you'll wind up being the person when the price is high going, damn it, I wish I would have bought more. Do what rich people do. You buy when there's blood in the streets, and you sell, if you're a trader, you sell when there's euphoria in the streets. That's it. And you put it into your crypto-only laptop. Here's a word from the sponsor. Take it away.
Are you buying and selling cryptos on the same laptop that you're using to browse the internet, read your email, and visit social media sites? If so, you're exposing your cryptos to theft. Whenever you're online, you're at risk of getting hacked and having your identity stolen. How would you feel if someone stole all of your cryptos? What would that do to your finances? Guard your cryptos with a safe and secure laptop from CALIX Solutions. Each laptop is set up just for you and your cryptos, and then we walk you through exactly how it works. Don't risk the security of your cryptos. Order a crypto laptop from CALIX Solutions now to secure your crypto future. Learn more at calixsolutions.io.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Patrick is outside right now answering phones. Give him a call at 702-845-8276. And a little special for you guys for the next, what time is it? Almost 10. I'll tell you what, for the next hour, I will be answering the phones at CALIX Solutions, taking your order for CALIX laptops. So if you want a crypto-only laptop, if you finally want to quit plucking around with your security and actually get a brand new laptop that is made specifically for holding and investing and maneuvering around the crypto world, give us a call, 702-845-8276. But I warn you, don't call me and be like, hey, Ben, how's it going? I've been watching you, sexy, because I'll hang up on your ass. I want some serious laptops, all right? So you got me for 1 hour. I'm answering phone calls as soon as I hang this up. Telephone number 702-845-8276. Give us a call. I'll answer the phone for the next hour. Love you guys. Everyone have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. It's Friday. Pluck it. Let's get drunk tomorrow. Bye-bye.